So according to this picture, the House of Wolves DLC was supposed to come out on March 10th. And that made sense since The Dark Below came out 3 months after Destiny, and the House of Wolves would come out 3 months after The Dark Below. But now Bungie has confirmed that the House of Wolves DLC will be coming out in Q2, which means the second quarter of the year, meaning DLC might come as early as April, maybe May, or as late as June. And the big question is, what are we gonna do until then? I'm sure lots of people still play Destiny, but I think there won't be as much to do aside from raiding and maybe the Nightfall, which personally I'm getting pretty damn tired of because I rarely ever get anything useful. But anyways, I was really looking forward to the House of Wolves coming out next month because I'm kind of getting bored with the game because there's not much to do outside of those weekly activities. And then you have your daily activities, but that's just to level up the gear you get from the weeklies. But I know I probably play more than the average gamer. Another question I have is why? Why not drop the DLC in March? And one of the answers I see a lot on forums is that Bungie is going to make this one better and that the House of Wolves DLC would be a true expansion. And lots of people are happy to wait if that means we get a real expansion this time and not just a little update. But my question is, how much can they possibly do? How much story can they possibly add to it in this short amount of time? Granted, I'm sure they've been working on improving the DLC for a little while now, but it would cost a lot of time and resources to do an overhaul of a DLC like this. And I'm not saying that they can't or won't, I just don't think it's likely. On top of that, I'm sure that the House of Wolves DLC was supposed to be a lot like The Dark Below, but now they have to go back and change some things so that it's not so similar and that they don't make the same mistakes. Speaking of which, Bungie has come out and said that they messed up with the Dark Below DLC in regards to the way exotics are upgraded, how raid gear was totally worthless after the DLC came out, and the barrier that upgrade materials puts between you and equipping that new piece of gear. Now all of this sounds promising, and it sounds like Bungie might make it so that the House of Wolves isn't such a grind, which is awesome news for us, but I'll have to wait before I give them any more praise. So maybe that's what they'll be doing with this extra time, or maybe something else. Now remember when Destiny first came out and a lot of people flamed Bungie and Activision for cutting content because this game wasn't at all what they advertised it to be, not to mention they were already aggressively trying to sell us the expansions. A lot of people said that Destiny was chopped up and parts of the original game were then sold as DLC for extra profits, and to be honest, all of that seems to make a good amount of sense. But another reason along with that one is that maybe they wanted to pace us better to avoid adding even more content into the game. So what I mean is, imagine that Destiny shipped with The Dark Below and House of Wolves. How long until we finished all of that content? We'd probably finish it a lot faster than if they released parts of it in timed intervals. Because if they released all of that content at the start, they would have to go back and make even more content for us for the DLCs when we were finished with the vanilla game. So maybe they chopped up the game so that they wouldn't have to spend the time and resources to make actual DLC and then increase profits by selling the parts of the game they already made for extra. Also, if you look at that picture again, which I've linked in the description, you can see that there's a big ass gap between the House of Wolves expansion and the Comet expansion. So we were gonna go from March until September without any new content. So maybe Bungie is trying to pace us a little bit better. Instead of waiting 3 months for the first DLC, then another 3 months for the next DLC, and then waiting 6 months for the next expansion, maybe they'll make us wait 4 or 5 months for House of Wolves so that they don't have such a massive gap before the Comet. Maybe it's a combination of all these reasons. Maybe they're trying to add new stuff to the game, maybe trying to fix the mechanics already in the game, or maybe they're just trying to buy some time, pace us a little bit better so that they can release the other parts of the DLC without us feeling extremely bored. So now back to the question of what we're gonna do in the meantime. How's Bungie gonna keep us interested? They'll probably do some limited time events like Iron Banner and Queen's Wrath, but honestly, that's just more of the same, so hopefully they do more to improve these events, but I don't think we'll be seeing any changes to the Iron Banner. The next time it comes, it's just gonna be a week-long grind of Crucible. But Bungie has said that the next time the Queen's Wrath will be better, so hopefully they make good on that promise. Another thing they can do that a lot of people have been asking for is to scale up the raids. I know there's a metric ass ton of people that would instantly hop back on Vault of Glass if they could get a 331 Fatebringer or Vision of Confluence, me included. This seems like a pretty simple thing to do, and I'm sure a lot of people will be down for a level 32 Vault of Glass. Something else I'd like to see is more vendor gear. In addition to bringing upgraded Vault of Glass weapons, what about giving us 331 versions of the Shadow Price, Devil You Know, Lord Hyde Fixer, the Grim Citizen, and Zombie Apocalypse? Or maybe just new weapons altogether. I know I'd be hella hyped if they did that. And maybe they could fix the reward systems in the game, but that's a whole video by itself that I'll do later this week. I think that by fixing the existing game and bringing back some upgraded weapons, Bungie could definitely keep us interested in Destiny, and this would give them even more time to work on the House of Wolves DLC. Well, that's it for this video. If you did like the video, please don't forget to smash that like button, and if you're not feeling too shy, then go ahead and drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on what Bungie could do to keep Destiny alive and poppin'. And of course, sub for more content like this in the future. That's it for now. Overman out.